Morning. I hope the month of July is going well for you. I've turned to the Psalms again this morning and first want to make a general comment about them. There used to be a Sunday newspaper, the News of the World, I think, whose adverts claimed all human life is here. I think it actually enjoyed some of the more unsavoury aspects of human life, and in the end it went too far and had to close down. But obviously the advert worked as I've remembered it all these years later. And I think I can apply the claim, all human life is here, to the Psalms. There's 150 of them, and they cover the whole gamut of human emotions, from praise and joy, through sadness, despair, doubt, penitence, anger, coping with pain and death, then back to praise and joy again. And there's a good example of that in this morning's psalm. Helen's going to read the opening 7 verses of Psalm 116.
I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Because he turned his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live. The cords of death entangled me. The anguish of the grave came upon me. I was overcome by trouble and sorrow. Then I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, save me! The Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. The Lord protects the simple-hearted. When I was in great need, he saved me. But at rest once more, O my soul, for the Lord has been good to you.
All human life is there, or at least quite a lot of it. Listen to some of the words packed into those few verses. Love, a cry for mercy, the cords of death, the anguish of the grave, trouble and sorrow, compassion, great need, rest, goodness. I'm exhausted just saying those. All the psalmists tell it like it is. They don't avoid tough issues. I read somewhere recently that they knew a lot of shuns: opposition, lamentation, desperation, supplication. So they made their petitions, and they knew quite a bit of exhilaration and salvation. They knew and they wrote about real life. Now, I write this reflection in a week when St. Mark's is going through the procedures to appoint a new vicar. I can't tell you anything. Like Manuel in Fawlty Towers, I know nothing, and must wait until all the formalities have been completed. It does cross my mind, however, that one of the responsibilities of a parish minister, whether that's a new appointee or someone who's been there a long time, is to be aware of the range of emotions and experiences in human life and to set them in the context of God's love. Put another way, the St. Mark's congregation and the wider Westmill and Bearton community are full of real people with real joys, real pains, real challenges, real needs, and a good minister will not steer clear of these, but like the psalmists, will acknowledge that all human life is in our parish, will face the demands and by God's strength guide people through them. And I pray that whoever is chosen will have that gift. But what applies to the vicar also applies to each of us who try to be the followers of Jesus based at St. Mark's today. We can all have a caring ministry in the middle of real life and at the same time be prepared to receive care from each other as we experience the many demands of life and death. May God help our new vicar, whoever that is, and ourselves to live out the gospel in practical ways as we experience all human life. I turn to my book of Celtic prayers for the closing words today. The faith of the Celtic Christians of Scotland, Ireland and Northumbria about 1200 years ago was distinctive because it was earthed in real life. They praised a loving God, but they did so fully aware of what was going on around them, the joys, the pains, the demands of human life, and they tried to bring the eternal and the worldly together in their poetry, which is often quite repetitive, and their prayers. So let us pray using these ancient words. Jesus, thou Son of Mary, be with us and for us, as we walk upon the road that runs in hills and valleys, in sun and shade, between earth and glory. Jesus, thou Son of Mary, be with us and for us, on the morning of our journey and at its close, at the dawning of our life and the darkening of our day. Jesus, thou Son of Mary, be with us and for us, at times of good and ill, in joy and sadness. Jesus, thou Son of Mary, be with us and for us, to consecrate, to strengthen, to bless. Amen.